about what's happening with January 6th. Of course, the vote to hold Mark Meadows in contempt. Let's talk to Corrine Clark about her organization and the media watchdog group that she has.
Great. Well, I founded Free Press Sale with a friend of mine in 2016 to kind of combat all of the fake news surrounding the 2016 election.
Oh, okay.
And, since then, the fake news hasn't stopped, so neither have we.
That's awesome. So you write articles, analysis. How does that work?
It's mostly commentary and some news updates, breaking alerts.
Mm-hmm.
We send updates to about 1 million people a day.
Wow.
Just getting the news out there, and it's been a fun ride.
All right. Well, it sounds like some good content. I'll be following your organization. I thought we could talk about the House January 6th committee, which I personally don't think it is bipartisan. I put that in sarcastic air quotes every time I say bipartisan.
I happen to agree with you. This is a very partisan investigation. I think we can tell that by the vote last night.
Yeah.
222 members of the House voted to hold Meadows in contempt.
Yeah. Surprise.
Those were all Democrats.
Right.
All Democrats and 2 so-called Republicans, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger.
Okay.
They endorsed Joe Biden for president, if that tells you anything about where they stand. So
Right.
This is a very partisan investigation.
Right. I think Liz Cheney is part of the Republican Guard that's just really on its way out, but she's still kind of hanging on. Kind of that Republicans and Democrats, they're both sides of the problem type of establishment. And she's proved that by endorsing Joe Biden for president and taking part in this committee.
I have to agree with you, and I think she sees the writings probably on the wall. I know Wyoming is not very happy with Liz right now.
That's our neighboring state. They are not happy with Liz Cheney right now.
But she's gotten in too deep. Now she can't really get out, so she's just doubling down on this anti-Trump narrative.
Right.
And she wants to think she's better than everybody. She's so above it all. But this is the most petty, partisan thing you could possibly be doing. There is nothing honorable about doubling down on this anti-Trump narrative. Now that Trump is not in office, you are only doing that if you are hoping to silence people who still support Trump.
Right. Yeah, someone needs to tell her that he's no longer in office. She seems to be very concerned, of course, because I'm sure she's gotten wind that he's probably going to run in 2024. But like you're saying, this is just an effort to quash and punish people who support Donald J. Trump and the Republican Party, the new Republican Party that has a backbone that I think they were given by Donald J. Trump for a change. Not all of them. Not all of them. I still have my suspicions about Mitch McConnell, right? But a lot of Republicans have a backbone now.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm happy to see that there are so many conservatives who maybe in previous years would have been devastated by such a witch hunt like this. They are not being beaten down. We are not going quietly into the night. Like organizations like mine are out there. We're speaking louder. You're only inspiring us to keep up the fight.
Gloves are off. You don't want to be nice anymore. We're not going to be nice either.
It's hard to say with our Department of Justice being basically as corrupt and partisan as Congress. It's hard to say where they'll take this. But if we did learn anything from the Obama years, being held in contempt is not the end of your career. Eric Holder is still a big part of the Democratic Party.
Right.
He was held in contempt, and he never complied with Congress.
There must be something wrong with me because I thought, I wouldn't go either with this sham committee. This is outrageous. What what purpose is it going to serve? Every little bit of information Liz Cheney's gotten her hands on, like these text messages she read Monday night. Like, okay, Liz, you just proved that this blindsided everyone in the Republican Party, and they were planning on doing something, at the time the rioting happened.
Yeah, I think she accidentally reminded everyone that everybody immediately condemned any violence.
Right.
Every text that she read, it was a volatile situation. Things were unfolding quickly.
Sure.
I'm in D.C. I have friends that work in the Capitol. It's so hard to know what was actually happening.
Right.
As soon as there was any indication that it was out of hand, everybody condemned it.
Right.
That's not us. We don't do that. Stop it.
Yeah.
There was nobody, saying, I hope they start a riot. Nobody was saying that.
Yeah.
And I think those texts were a reminder. But he sent, 9,000. Mark Meadows sent 9,000 texts and emails to Liz Cheney, and they're still trying to hold him in contempt.
Well, I would say history won't remember the Democrats fondly for this, but history shouldn't be remembering the Democrats fondly for Franklin Roosevelt and the New Deal. But they are. So I think the best thing that organizations like yours can do is keep fighting back against that narrative and bringing out some logical points that are largely ignored in favor of the Democrat witch hunt and the Democrat narrative.
I am definitely going to keep doing that. And it's just crazy to see, McCarthyism was bad, but at least McCarthyism was working against a destructive narrative.
Exactly.
Communism is terrible.
Communism is bad. Communism is bad.
But what's terrible now is this witch hunt is after not people who are seeking to destroy this country, but anyone who is hoping to defend it, anyone who actually believes in our values are being targeted.
Right.
That is way worse. It's a million times worse than McCarthyism, because at least McCarthyism loves America.
Right. Communism was a threat immediately after World War II. But Democrats seem to condemn that over and over and over when they don't take a look in the mirror and say, wait a second, this could not be remembered fondly. But there's no self-awareness there for the Democrat Party at all. Certainly not for Liz Cheney. But again, she's spoiled Republican royalty, and she's going to keep doing this. She's not going to learn. So let's just wait for this whole thing to blow over.
And I hope the people of Wyoming have something to say about it.
They do.
November.
She has been censured by the Republican Party, first county levels and then at a state level, and people are done with her. I don't care how much money she gets from big business and special interests. At the end of the day, the voters are the one who are going to have a say, and that is the beauty of the American political system.
Yeah, I certainly cannot wait to see it.
It's going to be great. That is my interview with Corinne Clark about what is happening with the January 6th Commission. Thanks so much for joining on the Steph Lucas Show today. Hope you have a great night.